You know something strange? Some of the most perceptive, emotionally aware people you'll ever meet didn't build those abilities through books, classrooms, or years of yoga. They developed them because at some point in their life, they had no choice. Their nervous system wasn't trained intentionally, but shaped by experiences that forced them to read rooms, sense emotional shifts, and think several steps ahead, just to feel safe. Psychologists often refer to this as traumatic intelligence, and if you've never heard of it before, that's exactly why this video matters. Here's the idea behind it. Trauma doesn't only impact people negatively. In many cases, it can actually make them sharper. Research in developmental psychology suggests that growing up in unpredictable or emotionally intense environments can lead to a stronger awareness of social cues, emotional patterns, and nonverbal behavior. The brain, especially areas like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, adapts early on, becoming highly sensitive to subtle changes that most people completely miss. The result is a form of intelligence that may not always be obvious on the surface, but runs incredibly deep underneath. Sign 1. You read people before they speak. You don't just listen to words, you notice pauses, tone shifts, eye movements. Sometimes you can tell someone is upset, even when they're smiling. And it's not magic, it's pattern recognition. Your brain learned to scan for emotional signals early on, similar to what psychologists call hypervigilance. Because at some point, understanding people wasn't optional, it was necessary. Sign 2. You feel what others feel, sometimes too much. When someone around you is stressed, you feel it. When someone is hurting, it affects you deeply. Even small changes in energy don't go unnoticed. This is often linked to heightened emotional intelligence. But for you, it goes deeper. You don't just understand emotions, you absorb them. And while this makes you incredibly empathetic, it can also be exhausting. Sign 3. You stay calm in situations that overwhelm others when things go wrong. When chaos happens, you don't panic. Instead, something in you switches on. You become focused, observant, strategic. While others feel lost, you start figuring things out. This is your mind adapting. Because when stress becomes familiar, it stops being scary. It becomes something you know how to handle. Sign 4. You overanalyze everything. But there's a reason you replay conversations. You think about what people said and what they meant. You try to understand motives, intentions, patterns. Sometimes it feels like too much, but this didn't come from nowhere. It came from trying to make sense of situations that didn't always make sense. You became someone who studies people, because understanding them once helped you feel in control. Sign 5. You don't trust easily, but when you do, it's real. You don't open up to everyone. You observe first. You take your time, because your mind has learned to be careful. Psychologists often describe this as a form of adaptive filtering, where your brain becomes selective about who feels safe. But here's the important part. When you do trust someone, it's not surface level. It's deep, loyal, and real. Because you don't build connections casually. You build them intentionally. If you relate to these signs, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind adapted. It learned. It evolved. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. This way of thinking is both a strength and a responsibility. Because while it helps you understand the world deeply, you also need to learn when to slow down and give your mind rest. Because not every situation requires analysis, and not every moment needs to be decoded. If this video made you feel understood, hit like and subscribe. And comment if you saw yourself in even one of these signs. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing isn't changing who you are, it's finally understanding it.